Are you somebody who would like to go out and do some sport, but it's just too cold? So you are discouraged because of the cold weather. If that's you, this video is for you. In this video, I will explain you what clothes to wear from bottom to up in order to keep warm even if it's cold outside. So I will explain you the strategy of layering, and I also focus on the extremities like the head, hands and feet. If you look at this video until the end, I will give you a couple of bonus tips which I think that are also useful and good for you to know when you are looking at the temperature outside. So stay tuned until the end. So let's get started. First of all, I will explain to you the layering. How to keep warm with having multiple layers of clothes. So that is the secret. It is not to put on one thick coat and imagine to stay warm. No, trick is to put multiple layers, because the layering and in between the layering you have air, and the air becomes warm with your body heat. So the key on warm clothing is not necessarily the thickness of the clothes, but creating layers on top of your body. And of course, on the other side, if you are getting too hot, you can always remove one layer. So that is another reason why layering is so important. First layer is called base layer. So it's the layer which is closest to your body. It is all about the comfort of feeling dry even if you would sweating. So the base layer is a material which doesn't keep the sweat and the wet in your skin. It actually pushes it out. So the material is not cotton or something which absorbs the wet, but it extracts the wet. So polyester, synthetic materials are best materials for the skin. So this is the first layer, the base layer. The second layer, the mid layer, is between the base and the out layer. So this is the layer where you can easiest start to adopt the thickness and the temperatures. So the colder it is outside, the more warm you want to add on the mid layer. That is the part of isolation, the part where you create the heat. So between that base layer where you extracted the heat out, the balance between the second layer is the heat of your body, which is important to keep you warm. So it's the isolation part. And normally the materials that is being used is fleece materials or even layer of wool. This is because those both materials have a very good isolation capabilities. If the weather is around 0 or a little bit colder, one middle layer is enough. I would normally use just one thin fleece as the base layer. Now, if you live in a country where there's -20 or something like that, you may need to add on a couple of middle layers. So I am coming from Finland, so I know how cold can be, and if there's -20, then I would have a fleece layer and on top of that a wool layer. So keep in mind of that you can best adapt the heat on the middle layering. So adding on further and further of layers depending the temperature. The final layer is the top layer, which purpose is really to protect you from the rain, from the wind, from the snow. So it's the coverage of clothes. So the purpose of that is not to keep you warm. So we avoid that thick jacket on because the warm was coming from the middle layer. The purpose of the top layer is that the protection, the shield of the outside weather. So for this outer layer, the best materials are of course the materials where you can find in the sport clothes in general. So they are breathable, they are windproof, they are synthetic materials. The sport clothes in general are designed in the way that you can use it, you're comfortable wearing them when you do sport. I show you here examples what I have and point out to you the things that you can consider specifically when looking at the clothes that you can wear when doing Nordic walking.
In wintertime, I always wear clothes where the outer layer is waterproof but breathable at the same time. So see, from the inside there is this breathing layer with the small holes, and you can see that helps the air to go in and out. Additional points of comfort. In your jacket you may want to have additional areas where there can be better air circulation. Here I had an example of having this in the back, but this could be also a side of your jacket. Pay attention that your zip of your jacket or other clothes is covered by breathable and waterproof materials as well. This way you make sure that you don't get wet through your zip. The areas of your clothes that you are using a lot are ideally covered by the additional harder tissue to protect that the clothes are not worn out fast. The more your gears include straps, rubber bands or other adjustable gears, the better you can protect yourself and adjusting your comfort when you are doing your Nordic walking.
Tip for you: for winter, consider that the outer layer clothes are enough large, so there's maybe one size extra, so that you have enough space in between for that middle layer to increase the layering, especially if you live in a cold country where you might need to adjust and put one or two or even three layers in between. You need to be able to fit them. So think about that when you are choosing the size of your outer layer clothes. Are you enjoying this video? If you do, please hit the like, because I would really appreciate that. That would motivate me to continue to serve you and do the videos for you. As we have now covered the body with the base layer, middle layer and top layer, let's move to the hands, head and feet.
In winter, I always wear socks which are thicker to warm your feet, but also higher so that they are keeping your ankles warm. If the ground is really cold, say a lot of snow, I wear socks which have base material. You see, from the white sock the a bit creamy color, it's all the base material. In extreme scenarios, you can of course consider putting multiple socks on if you have enough big shoes. Wearing socks, it's not only secret for having comfort in your feet in the winter time, but you should also consider good shoes. So I would link there another video where I talk about gears, basic gears, and there is also coverage of good shoes. So you can see the link here above, and also in the end screen you can get to this video. The gloves. Personally, I am always using gloves when I do Nordic walking to protect the skin from touching the Nordic walking poles. For winter, I recommend gloves that are used for cross-country skiing. These are almost the same using poles, so they are very easy to use also for Nordic walking. If you don't live in a region where you can find Nordic walking gloves, try ordering on internet or use other sport gloves. Perhaps spiking gloves could do the trick for you. The hat. I really think that it's important to have in winter time a hat on, because you are losing 30% of your body heat through your head. So please wear hat when you do sport in the winter time. In case you live in a region where you don't have very low temperatures but a lot of rain in the winter time, I would recommend you to buy a rain hat, which is 100% breathable and rainproof. Honestly, believe me, since I have it, I'm truly enjoying the walks even in the rainy weather. Finally, I have 2 bonus tips for you to consider when you are going for a walk. The first one is this yellow vest. Specifically in the winter time, you need to be seen far away. You see, I have here just black clothes. People would not see me very far away. If you are walking on a street and a car is passing by, I definitely recommend you to wear some kind of reflectors. Here in my clothes there is already automatically reflectors on, but I always still wear a visible vest, clothes that are seeing far away, just for your own protection, that you will not get hit by a car by accident. Another tip that I wanted to share with you is to not only look at the temperature, what is in a temperometer, but actually checking out the impact of the wind. Because the wind can really make the air feeling so much more colder that you should always count the impact of the wind. You can see in this chart the highest blue line with a 0 wind, the temperature from 10 to -40. And then you go down and see the second orange line with a 5 kilometers per hour wind. You see how the wind impacts to the temperature, with the extreme scenario of -40 degrees increases to nearly -50 degrees. The same can be translated to a matrix. As you can see in this example, the outside temperature is 0 and the wind speed is 10, which makes the temperature feeling like -3. The same 0 temperature with the 60 kilometers per hour wind would make air feeling like -9. I will put down below the link to the direct access to get to see this matrix for you if you are interested. But luckily you do not need to always go to the website, but you can just simply check out your app, whether in your mobile phone, and you can see there already the true feels like temperature.
Do you have any questions? More areas that you would like me to deep dive on? Please ask and comment down below so that I can then respond to you and help you on your Nordic walking journey. I hope that you liked this video and that was really useful for you. Please hit the like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you will get automatically the next videos that I will make. And with the bell, you would get the notification as well. I wish you a great rest of the day and see you next time. Bye bye!